Well, you hear that sound, you know it's time for Help Me Hank. You may be starting to feel that trickle down from those tariffs when you go shopping. Stores like Costco and Best Buy say they have already raised prices, while Walmart, Target, and Macy's are planning to follow suit. Our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, is showing us what will cost more and where you can save.
Have you noticed it yet? Price hikes from fruit to furniture, automobiles to your favorite brand of alcohol. This week, you may soon be seeing prices jumping up at your favorite stores, and the reason is simple: tariffs.
Tariffs or not, we all have to be smart consumers.
Smart, we have to be.
Linda considers herself to be a savvy shopper.
I'm a shopaholic. I like buying presents for people.
Yeah.
So I see all day long the difference in prices.
But today, Linda tells me she noticed the staples she normally buys are now costing her more.
We eat a lot of fruit in our house.
Okay.
Berries, big time on berries and fruit.
Okay.
I mean like $2 or $3 sometimes for the little pint.
It's a big concern. You see, Linda is also a small business owner right here in Metro Detroit. She owns the popular brand Skinny Teas. And while the home base is in Birmingham, many of her actual teas come from overseas.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't want to raise my prices. Does that mean then we're working just to break even, or just for a little bit to pay the expenses here?
Some stores say they have no choice but to raise prices right now, and that includes Walmart, Best Buy, Costco, Target, AutoZone, and Adidas. Here are some of the items that will soon cost you more. Think electronics, kids' toys, and certain food items that are either grown or shipped from overseas. Here's a quick look at some of the items that are already going up in price at Walmart. When you're talking toys, the Jurassic World T-Rex now up to $55. It was $39. The Baby Born doll is now $49. It was about $35. The Light Bright Magic Screen, $21 now. The Thompson heating pad, $25. It was $19. A fishing reel, $83. It was listed for $53 just a few months ago. And even a roll of tape, now $9.97. It was $4.29 in April.
Well, I think it's been coming, and so whether it's the goods being manufactured and finally getting here to just the supply chain is now at a point where the supply and the shelves are empty, so you have to restock them at a higher price.
Financial expert Dewey Steffen says the price jumps were expected, and now they'll likely be here for a while.
It's going to continue because, again, you have a pause in the tariffs, you have a re-tariff, you have all these different things going on, so it's going to be day by day, week by week.
So how can you save? Well, number one, you have to do your research. Buying American is the key, but that's easier said than done, as most items have some component that come from overseas.
Go online and see if you can find, coupons or discounts, and obviously just, again, really shop around and be an informed consumer.
Well, look what happened. We put some microphones on a table, and Hank and Dewey just happened to show up.
Boom.
Just like that.
There you go.
All right, let's bring the guys in. First of all, we talked at nauseum when the tariffs started coming in, and we knew the trickle-down effect would start to get to us. We just didn't know how long it was going to be. And I think we're now in a position where you've been doing multiple reports on the fact that people are starting to feel the pinch in their wallets now.
Yeah, I think it took a while, right? I mean, so we heard from Washington that these were going to be moving forward, but what does that really mean for people every day when they're shopping, when they're buying everything from avocados to an automobile? Now we're seeing the financial impact, right? So not only at the grocery store, but soon we're going to see it with automobile dealers, like the Ford dealer that I've been talking to in Dearborn, who says by July that there's unfortunately no other option other than to pass some of that on to the consumer.
Correct.
But I know, Dewey, and what you've been sharing with us in the research that you've been doing, it's really on a kind of a case-by-case basis as to which retailers or companies are going to pass that on to people, right?
Yeah, individual companies or even sectors. I mean, broad-based. You can say the price of eggs are super high and autos may go up, but oil is low. Oil is $66 a barrel, or say under $3 at the pump. So again, inflation is there, but it's really specific to what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to assume that we knew that the larger chains could absorb some of that cost for a little bit longer than our mom and pops could. And now we're starting to see larger chains pass the costs on. So how much longer until we see the real impact? We're seeing it now, but the price hike is going to get only worse and worse over time.
So there's two parts to it. One is the real price hike. And again, you had tariffs, then you have tariff pause. Then you have 90 days, then another tariff pause, then it's going back into effect July 9th. So you have all this posturing. So what is really the increase at this point? Well, maybe the end consumer is going to pay regardless if the company is going to either try to pass it through just because that's the number, or they're going to be politically correct and consumer centric and try not to pass it through. So there's a lot that, what's the real number versus the assumed number, but what is it now versus what it'll be, 3 months from now.
So on the consumer side of things, then, how can we save? Is there a way that we can go into the grocery store and maybe not save money, but not spend as much as we have to?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I mean, if you really talk to...
Do I have to make a list and stick to it?
You should always make a list. Well, are you one of those people that goes to the grocery store when you're hungry? I mean,
I did that once.
Yeah.
Won't do it again.
Get your act together. No, I mean, obviously in times like these, they're going to tell you buy American, buy American. That's easier said than done.
Sure.
Because if you go even on a website like Amazon, the reality is that almost every product has some sort of a component that comes from overseas or maybe was shipped from overseas, has some hand that's touching it that is from overseas.
Right,
so that can be tricky. So you can, work those loyalty programs. Costco's one of those, Kroger. All of those give you opportunities to save in different ways or apply your bonuses towards gasoline or different things like that. But the reality is the real bottom line is we're all going to be paying more. And hopefully maybe it's just short term. But it is going to be a sticker shock for people, just like that woman in the store. I mean, just something as simple as berries, costing her an extra $2 as opposed to what they cost her just 2 months ago.
And those loyalty programs, like you mentioned, they can be incredibly helpful, but also you have to be incredibly disciplined to do it right.
Yeah, and then, I'll talk to Dewey, and Dewey will say, and many other financial experts will say, this is not the time to be loyal. This is the time to shop around. This is the time to go on every different website, visit every different retailer, shop local, build those relationships to try to work to save. And again, you just said this to me on Monday. If we want to save money, we're going to have to do work. It is not just going to land in our lap like it used to.
From going to fast food chains to eat, to which one's better to feed your family, to any purchase from a car on the other end of it. So it's absolutely, you have to do the work. That's a great way to explain it.
And the impulse buys are gone, I would assume. You can't just roam around Target anymore and see what tickles your fancy?
Well, don't take your kids to Target. I've learned that mistake long before the tariffs. Don't take your child to Target with you. You will spend 5 times more, right?
Well, there are some stores that are trying to clear their shelves, and there are some products that are always, not going up in price. Last year's electronics is an example. So if, again, those impulse buys is the opposite. No, you're kind of going to be paying the high ticket price and paying a premium for that. But if you want to travel, then go out a year. If you're going to try to, do any really large purchases, you again have to take your time, do your research, and shop around.
There was always conversations about the right time to buy certain products. Does any of that matter anymore?
I think some of it does for larger ticket items. I mean, the autos will tell you that there are certain times when there are incentives. If they continue the incentives,
Sure.
I mean, that might be how some of the autos decide to save money.
Right.
Right now, it's a good time in the used car market. I know that they're enjoying this opportunity because they're able to, offer different discounts and rates and options for people because the new car market is very uncertain right now. And I think that's why people are kind of pausing on this purchase.
Yeah, well, so 2 comments to that. One is seasonal. So if you want to go get a grill, it's going to be at a premium right now. So
Sure.
go buy your grills in the winter.
Yeah.
And then, believe it or not, like travel, airline travel, depending on where you're going, those prices are starting to come down because, again, we're all recognizing that there is the sticker shock or the price increase. So I'm going to drive there. Gas is lower, so I'm going to just drive instead of taking a flight because I'm going to take a family of 4 or a family of 5. So again, there are these places where if you do the research and do the work, you can, I don't know if it's a deal, but you can find at least something that's fairly priced.
But there is something to be said about the mental health of mom and dad stuck in a vehicle for a 12-hour road trip.
Right. Don't take the trip. Put a tent in
family
the backyard.
first, all the love, right?
I'm heading to a dance competition in Pigeon Forge, just outside of Nashville, in 2 weeks, and it's an 11-hour drive.
Yeah, no.
Wheels on the bus go round and round. You have some songs.
Somebody
to
else's
sing.
bus. You,
Yeah.
you go there. I'll meet you down there.
My daughter doesn't even know that dance is an option.
Oh, do you want me to send her a picture?
No.
We can do a live FaceTime from the competition if you'd like.
That's okay. But I mean, again, travel, whether it's gas is down, but hotel rates. I mean, all of these, everybody is going to have to make it up somewhere. Right. So, for you, the consumer, taking a trip like that, whether it's visiting the restaurant that you and your family are going to go to, those prices are up. The hotel prices are up. It's going to be a very tricky and difficult, I think, several months for the consumer. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't bring the mood down, Hank.
Yeah, sorry
All right,
about
Hank,
that.
thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
Sure.